it was like I was having this frying pan over the head moment where it was like, I have a choice. I can continue to be. I was very connected to the angelic realm. Angels would visit me and give me experiences. It was very much an out of body experience for me. I met with my mom and
You could have given up, but you didn't. You could have stopped believing, but you didn't. You could have kept living their expectations, but you decided to make this life your own. And in turn, you're here. Hello, everyone. Today we're meeting Laurie Parente. She's an angelic guide, the energetic healer, and intuitive guide as well. Hello, Laurie. Thank you for joining us today.
hello, so happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's just start a conversation by diving into your journey of becoming the person you are today. What led you to discover your true passion in life? How did it start for you?
Well, I think, like many of us, I was very intuitive as a child. I was very connected to the angelic realm. Angels would visit me and give me experiences. But around the age of 4 or 5, when I would start to tell people the experiences I was having, it wasn't. It wasn't taken very well. People didn't believe me. They said, "Oh, you're just making it up. That's just your imagination." And I remember as a little one thinking, "No, this is true for me." But the more I took in those external voices, I started to push it down. And definitely as a teenager, I wanted nothing to do with it, because if I would say to somebody, "Oh, I think, your grandfather is here," it just didn't go over well, right? This is the 70s and 80s, and not too many people are into this kind of thing. Um, and it kind of just faded into the background for a while until I was in my mid 40s, and it just started to get so loud. It started to get so uncomfortable to not be my authentic self. It was like I was having this frying pan over the head moment where it was like, I have a choice. I can continue to be miserable and be half of who I am, probably not even half of who I am, maybe a quarter of who I am, or I can step into this. And the moment I made the decision, I happened to be on Facebook. I saw an ad for a mediumship course with James Van Prague, and I just didn't even think about it. I just paid for it, went for it, and everything just snowballed from there. And I started to get much more confident in my abilities, and I started to share. And then people would say, "Oh, you should do this because you're really helping me." And I decided to just go with it. I did go down the road of just studying everything possible. I'm very intellectual. And then it got to a point where I just had to let it all settle, let it all integrate, and decide that I was ready to step into that healing arena.
Wow, yeah, so that's interesting how you kind of knew from the beginning, even when you were a child, you would have the intuitive ability to tap into something that is beyond what we see, but still you needed time to kind of like get to the point where you can trust yourself, trust your intuitive gifts, and really um, go full into that journey of tapping into your gifts and sharing that with others. Because a lot of times when we don't trust that this is something that we're here to really like to be of service of other people, then we are guided to the wrong direction, I would say. But then eventually we would realize this is not something we want to do. We don't have that type of fulfillment or joy of doing that. Wouldn't you agree that this is something that would kind of like be a sign that this is not the right path for you? So how would you know that this is the gift that you're here to share with others? How would you know that this is something that you have to step in fully to be in your power?
I, I always say that joy is the signature of your light. So if there's something in your world that just brings you joy, whether you're doing it for a living or if it's just a hobby, lean into that and just take it step by step and follow the joy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, joy. I think it's like the most important indicator that it's really what is for me. And it could be different for each one of us, but I think we have to listen to what feelings that we are receiving or emotions that come through us, because in our society we've been taught to kind of like push it down or suppress those type of emotions, right? And then we ignore them until they get very loud to the point where it could be even, painful in a way. But it's something that is telling us something that we have to pay attention to and be mindful of. So what was like the pivotal moment for you that you knew that this is kind of like of no return? You have to really to be who you are, because this is your life and this is your true self, and you can't abandon your true self. This is what you have to do.
So when I first took that course with James Van Praagh, the very first meditation he led us through was to meet with a loved one. And in this meditation, it was very much an out of body experience for me. I met with my mom and my nana, and we were like three lights. I just saw our soul lights. And in that moment of connection and that unconditional love, I just felt all the doubt and the worries and the anxiety, and everything that had plagued me in my life, the not enoughs, I like to call them, they just kind of dissipated. And I went, oh, I need more of this. And so I just went down that road and took it step by step without any expectations. I think many times we'll have this profound experience and then we just expect to have more like that. And it's just whatever's going to happen, wherever this is going to lead me, I'm going to trust it. I'm going to be open and curious and I'm going to follow it. And so it led me down, meeting with my entire spiritual team and going on these wonderful inner journeys that then allowed me to deeply connect with my own soul light. It's like I needed that external kind of push of meeting with my mom and my nana to be able to really go within. Who am I? What do I want? What do I need? What am I curious about? Where is life leading me? Because I believe the more we step into our light, we just get brighter and brighter and brighter. And then how can I share that with others?
Wow, yeah, that's beautiful. And I think those profound moments of like self-realization that could happen at any time once we open to it. And like you said, you've been curious, you just tried, and that's kind of like unfolded for you as a logical next step of what is it that you want in your life. And a lot of times we think about connecting with our loved ones or spiritual guides as something that people have special gifts for. But I know that you offer a free guide to people to connect to their loved ones. So could you elaborate more on, is it that anybody could connect, or do you need to have a special ability, or what is it that would help you to really release any tension, resistance, and ease into the experience of having that for ourselves and seeing or talking or connecting to our loved ones that crossed over?
So I think if we look at the evolution of consciousness that we are going through, I believe we are all absolutely capable. And just working with clients over the last so many years, there's certain steps that we can take, and then we all can have these wonderful relationships. And I like to say it doesn't matter what your relationship was, if you had a loving relationship or you had an estranged relationship. When you meet with your people in spirit, it's like those human limitations fall away and you connect with them spirit to spirit. And so the biggest thing is the fear. So many people have fear about this, right? And I love Sheila Gillette, who channels the Archangel Theo. Her tagline is always faith and fear ask the same of us to believe in the unknown. So why not choose faith? Because fear is just as unknown as faith. It's a projection into the future. Well, if I connect with this, what if something weird happens? What if there's something evil? Well, what if you can just set the intention that I'm going to be open, I'm going to be curious, I'm going to expect that I can connect with my loved ones. And it's just such a great place to start on your spiritual journey because your loved ones want to connect. They're here, right? And we feel them around us. And if I ask a group of people, has anyone never had a dream or never felt their loved ones around them? No hands go up, right? Everyone has had a moment where they've connected, where they know we are so much more than this physical life and that the love still remains with our loved ones. So, yes, I offer a free guide and a guided meditation to help people on their way to release that fear and to step into that possibility because it's so possible for everyone.
Wow, it's good to know because a lot of times we kind of like set those limitations for ourselves and not letting ourselves to experience something beyond what we think is possible. But there's so much unknown, and like you said, if we are lean into faith rather than fear, we can see what is possible and open the opportunities for us that could lead to something even bigger that we ever expected. So I think it's a good starting point for us to really explore what is on the other side and how can we connect to our loved ones. And I know we all have spirit guides. Is that true? And how many, if you know about it?
So we all have certain guides that will be with us our whole lives,
Mhm.
perhaps ones that have been with us even before this life, depending on how you see lives. We have angels, we have guides, we have teacher guides, we have mentors, and at any point we can connect into different guides. So, just as an example, I have a tech guide, and her name is Cecilia, and I've worked with her many times. And just before we came on today, my Wi Fi was just like not working. And I connect in with her and I ask for her help, and then all of a sudden it's working. And so it's connecting in with the teacher that you need at this time or the mentor that you need at this time, and then also having that core group of guides. When I first started connecting with them, I would imagine it as a board table, like a board of directors, and I would be the CEO sitting at the board at the end of the table, and I would say, "Okay, who wants to teach me today? Who has something to help me with today?" And I would meet my team in spirit that way, and it was just. It needs to be playful. It needs to be fun. It needs to be joyful and not so serious. And then it's just this beautiful connection that happens.
Oh, yeah. So it's not one, two, it's like a team that you're working with, and
Right.
they all have their own, I would say, advice to give you, and whoever is best suited for that moment in time to help you, they could just step in and share that, right?
Right. I always used to say, liken it to you're in a dark room and you've got a headlamp on and you've got all these files in front of you on this table, and you're thinking that you need to do everything by yourself. And someone comes in and switches on the light, and you notice there's this huge table of your whole team that is there, and they start taking the different files and helping you.
Yeah, and that's good to know because we always feel like we're alone, we're not supported, and we kind of like buy into that belief the more we think about it. But what if it's not true? What if there is help and support that always available for you? And we just need to be open to that um, realization, to that new way of looking at things. And if we are open and ready to explore, perhaps we can connect with those who can support us at any point in time. And it could happen, 24/7, as I understand. It's not like a particular time, particular place. At any point of time, at any place, you can connect with them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I heard someone say, our guardian angels are part of our team. 95% of them are unemployed. They're just sitting there waiting for you to connect. And we do have free will, right? So they're not, unless it's an emergency situation or something, they're not going to step in unless you set the intention that you want to meet with your angel and you go within and you find a way to quiet yourself. And the best way I always say for people, if you have a very overactive mind, as I do, is to find a guided meditation that will lead you to meet with someone in your team.
Yeah. So I have a question regarding the guided meditation. Is there a specific frequency of, I would say, sound, music that lead you to connect? Or it could be just something just relaxing and soothing. So what would help you to release that resistance and be open to the connection?
So there's tons of music on YouTube of different hertz, and everyone will have a different one, whether they connect in at 444 or 55 or whatever it is for you. So just listen to different ones and notice how you feel in your body. I never want to say, go listen to this one because it'll only work for some people. But listen to different ones, put your headphones on and say, okay, how do I feel? Do I feel calm? Do I feel relaxed? Or do I feel agitated with this frequency? And find something that helps you to feel really calm and really relaxed. And then just open yourself up to going on a journey. I like to call see, meditation kind of sometimes gets a bad rap because we say, I can't stop my thoughts. I can't meditate. I can't do this. I quit. I tried that. I tried it for years and I can't do it. And I think in our modern society, when we have so much information coming in all of the time, we really need to give our mind something to do. So that's why the guided meditations are really helpful when you're starting out because your mind has something to follow. So
Mhm.
there's tons of apps that have different guided meditations. There's lots of places, and if you are just open to it and curious and go with how you feel, oh, this one feels good to me. Yes, I'm going to work with this one. Oh, no, I don't like how I feel with that one. I'm turning that one off. Just go. Your heart will know what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about us listening to how we feel and knowing that this is the right type of frequency for me, and it helps me to get to that relaxed mode where I can be just open to the new experience. And
Right.
it's all individual, and I know like we should just try and see what works for us the best. But I know you provide the guided meditation along with the free guide, and we will include that in the link and the show notes as well, so for people to check it and see if that works for them. But I want to like touch upon the, you know, the really like understanding of what is it that differentiates human beings and this spirit guides or angelic realm. So what are your thoughts on like after the human life is over, like where our spirit is going? How are we related to that spirit world and what happens? Because we hear a lot about um, the experiences when people die, or sometimes they think they're gonna die, but then they come back to life. So, like, you know, almost death experiences, right? And they are ready to go. They already see the light. They already see the um, I don't know, the new world, but then they come back and they have a new realization of what they're here to do, and what like insight you can share with us that could help us to be more mindful of our purpose here on earth, and what are we here to do, and how is the journey after we die or cross over or change our form, I would say.
Uh, so there was a lot in there. So let's see if we can unpack. I we are multidimensional beings of light and love.
Mhm.
And at some point, we made the decision to come into this life, to spiral down into this dense physical form and experience a human life. And when we are first brand new babies, we're completely open to the spirit world. And then through the teachings of our culture and our family and everything, we kind of went to school and we learned, right, wrong, good, bad. Um, Everything is only your five senses. And we kind of got denser and denser and denser. And then at some point, we start to open up to, wait a minute, I'm not just my physical self. I'm not just my physical experience. I am so much more. I heard someone say yesterday, it's like in the movies when they have like those sleeper spies, like they're completely asleep, but then they get a phone call and it wakes them up and they know their purpose, right? Something
Yeah.
perhaps someone passes, or we have something we hear something, and it just kind of wakes us up to the knowing that we are more than just this. And then we start to release those densities, we start to release all those beliefs, we start to release all of that conditioning, and we step more and more and more into our soul light. We start to connect. And then when we pass, yes, we die in this realm, but we're born back into multidimensionality. So that's when these people have these near-death experiences. They see what they're born back into, and
Mhm.
realize their purpose is love, is loving self, loving others, loving life. It's all about love. We came here to experience being human and to find our way back to love.
Yes, and I think we know that deep in our heart, but we have our own, I would say, struggles that we go through in order to come back to life. And it's a lot that we need to let go of to really like start feeling what love is. And loving ourselves is, I feel like, the foundation of the relationship with other people and in life in general. And I think we don't realize how critical we are to ourselves on an everyday basis. And we sometimes just do it automatically, not paying attention how hurtful it is in the long run, how we diminish our own light over time, and really not valuing and not giving ourselves honor and respect that we should as being divine beings or light beings, I would say, in our core, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have experiences that cause distortions in our light. I have been shown that every person that is on the earth is a light that goes right from the earth right up into the heavens. And you can see little distortions on there that just have come with experiences of being human. And they've caused these beliefs that we're not good enough, or we're not enough, we're not this, we're not that. And
Mhm.
it's releasing that and finding, as you said, that self-love comes from such a deep place within. And we cannot have relationships that are loving unless we love ourselves.
Yeah.
It's about turning up that internal light and turning down the external distortions that are coming at us.
Yeah, all of this noise, all of this distraction around us, it really like um it's not helpful for us to go within. And that is something that we need to be mindful of and first bring awareness of what really matters and how we can treat ourselves with that love, respect, and honor. So we allow that light to shine from within and be who we are openly without any need to pretend to be somebody else, because a lot of times we try to fit in into society expectation norm of what people want from us, how they want to see us, or we try people pleasing, and that really is not of a benefit to anybody. So we have to be first true to who we are And that starts with love.
And it starts with noticing, just noticing without judgment. What are the quality of my thoughts? Am I honoring my light with this thought? Or am I dishonoring my light with this thought? And not being hard on ourselves, which we are taught to do. Oh, I shouldn't think that way. Oh, just I am thinking this way. Huh, is that true? Is that really who I am? So it starts with that noticing, and in the noticing, then we make a choice to change. So, oh, I could never do that. It's not, wait a minute, is that true? No,
Yeah.
I could learn to do that. I'm capable, absolutely. And shifting those thoughts and then getting out of those thoughts and getting into your heart. So I know my head says this, but what does my heart say? And my heart will always say, you're okay, you're enough, you are love. Everything you're experiencing is exactly what you came here to experience. And it might be messy and it might be painful, and yet you're growing through it. And that's your purpose.
Yes, I think we should love ourselves no matter what we're going through and always hold space for the evolution that is never, it never stops. We're always changing, always growing, we're never stagnant. And the idea in our head how the life should be, it's not necessarily how it is. And we just need to accept the truth and, like you said, and be aware of the thoughts that coming in and really like filter them and ask ourselves question, is it really true what I'm thinking about myself, and how do I know it's true, right?
Right. And the projections that we put on, you mentioned, I want to, fit in, or they think I should be this way, or they're
Mhm.
probably not even thinking that. That's a projection from you, right? So
Yes,
it's the projection. Are they really thinking that? Have I asked them? Because they would probably say, what are you talking about? I never thought that. It's coming from us, right?
yes.
So who am I, and what's important to me, and what brings me joy? And when I'm in those situations where I'm feeling emotions that we would call painful, can I sit with them and allow them to teach me and to expand me?
Yes, I think that practice of really giving ourselves space to process emotions, unpleasant emotions that rise up at usually almost every day, like every time we experience something that we don't like or not the way we really wanted it to be, perhaps, but it's something that is telling us to go within and to understand why am I feeling this way? What is the underlying reason for all of that, right? So we have to really sit and give ourselves space and process those emotions, but not ignore them, because you can't escape, like you can run from them. It's just for your own benefit. Everything that happens in life, it's for your own benefit, for your growth.
And I think you can even take it a step further and not even label it as an unpleasant emotion or something we don't like. It's just an
Yeah.
experience. This emotion is here to inform me. It is, I maybe don't even have to name it. I'm feeling this emotional wave in my body. Where am I feeling it in my body? What does it need?
Mhm. Yeah.
Because we have labeled good, bad emotions, but what if it's just an experience? It's just an energetic experience that we can lean into. And once we get information from it, then we can release it and move on.
Right. Rather than being against, you should be with it, working with that emotion, asking what does it need from you? What kind of information it's here to bring to you so you can move forward with that type of insight.
Right.
And yeah, I like that you mentioned it shouldn't be labeled as being good or bad because this is how we turn from it. But if we look at it as just an experience and it's normal, it's the way of life. So that's why we would be more open and doing those type of practices as our daily life. It's like it should be integrated in our lifestyle as something that is normal, the way it should be. And then I think it will help us along the way, and we don't have to kind of like work hard to make it happen.
Right. I know you've probably heard many people will say, oh, I'm triggered. That's just my trigger.
Yeah.
I'm acting this way because I'm triggered. And I always say, okay, well, what are you doing with that trigger? Are you
Mm.
looking into it? Are you noticing what it feels like to you, what it means to you? What is it here to teach you? What are you being asked to expand through? You went through something when you were younger and it got shoved down because you didn't have the maturity or the capacity to deal with it. And now it's coming up as a trigger to get you to look at it. So, what are you doing with that trigger? And as we do that, you're right, we start to work more in the flow. We have been taught so much that we have to do so much. It's that fire energy of do to get somewhere. And if we bring in that water energy of that flow and kind of tampen that fire energy down, what if I'm just working with my intuition, working with my team and stepping step by step and allowing life to flow rather than fighting against it?
Yes. And I think every one of us can start making those changes in their life and the way they treat themselves, the way they create space for themselves, because the more they do it, the more they will see benefit. And it has to be done as a daily practice for us to see how beneficial it is for us. And we can start with just becoming aware, becoming mindful of the thoughts that we are receiving all the time, that's flowing through us, and start questioning if that's really true. And then seeing those triggers and emotional releases that's coming up. And what is it that they're telling us? And the more we do that, the more we will see the benefit. And I'm so grateful that we had that conversation today. For those who would like to connect with you online, how can they find you?
My website is laurieparente.com and I'm on Instagram at Laurie Parente. Yeah, very simple.
That's great. And for those who would like to work with you, what kind of programs do you offer?
So I do one-on-one healing sessions um, where we work with a variety of modalities, just tapping into your team and relaying with my team and seeing where we can go to open you up to more of your light and release some of that old baggage. And then 4 times a year, I do a Reclaim Your Light course. It's a 3-day course leading up to the equinoxes and the solstices. It's an hour a day on Zoom, and we do a day of releasing and then a day of connecting and a day of activating. So we're activating more of your light, reclaiming your light. So those are 3 times a year. And so the next one will be leading up to the equinox and the fall equinox in September.
Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, hit the subscribe button and share it with others. Stay tuned.